Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I've got some Planetside 2 gameplay, and there's been a pretty big patch since the last time I've played. They added a Lattice system to the Indar map, and I'll get into that later. They've also added some really cool new updates to the interface and some pretty cool new max weapons and abilities. Right now I'm using the Vanu Max, and I'm kind of glowing purple here because I'm using the Zealot Overdrive system, and what this allows me to do is move faster and do more damage. I also take more damage at the same time. So it's sort of like Berserker mode for the Vanu Max, and I gotta say it makes it so much more fun to play. Having a max with decent mobility that you can actually move around like an actual infantry class and not have to feel like this lumbering Hulk really gives it a new sense of purpose and a new sense of abilities. The other factions get some really cool upgrades too, and I gotta say I've run into the NC Max using their new energy shield ability, and what this allows them to do is basically put up, it's like a giant glowing riot shield that absorbs all incoming fire from the direction that they're facing. So it allows them to like push down a hallway and get in really close for close quarter combat, because everybody knows the NC Maxes have some pretty nasty shotguns. So using their shield in combination with those shotguns to get up close is absolutely lethal, and it's kind of frightening, I'll be honest. The TR Maxes got a lockdown ability which forces them to sort of stay in place, and they put down these pistons into the ground, and it gives them the ability to fire a lot faster. Both rate of fire and their projectile velocity is increased. So they can dish out some serious damage, and having a TR Max with anti-air cannons go into lockdown on top of a tower, all of a sudden he becomes incredibly effective for taking down air. Or as a defensive measure, just having them going into lockdown in a hallway, they can really dish out enough damage to take out just about anything that's going to come down that hallway. Now currently I'm playing on Amerish, and this continent hasn't been that popular in the past, but there is an alert going on, and the alert systems I've talked about a little bit in the past seem a little bit more frequent now, and they basically drive combat to different continents. And so right now it's on Amerish, and you can see in the upper right hand corner there's a little timer counting down. Alright, let's talk about the Lattice system. Now this is something that has been a long time coming in Planetside. It's actually from the original Planetside game. This is how territory control worked. And basically with this new Lattice system, you cannot capture territories that do not have a connection to another Lattice location that you control. So it's basically trying to direct battles and traffic. So if you are fighting at one base and there's another base adjacent to you that is not connected by a lattice, once you capture that base, there's not going to really be much incentive to go to that other base, like say that's to the north of you, unless it has a lattice system connected. So it's a good way to sort of point people in the right direction of where they should fight, and keeping big armies together. Rather than having 8 options of where to go to after a big battle, now you'll only have 2 or even 1 in some cases. So it really allows larger armies and players who aren't playing with larger groups who are very organized to kind of have a good idea of where the action is going to flow to next. Larger facility areas have also been broken up into smaller areas. So now say you have a biolab with a bunch of exterior satellite locations to capture to help you attack the biolab. Before, that was all included in one giant territory, which was kind of hard to read from the big map to understand where the enemy were attacking from necessarily. Those have now been broken up into smaller areas, so it becomes much easier to read the large map. You can see, oh, they've captured this satellite facility, and that's probably where they're assaulting the biolab from now. So it just makes it a lot easier to understand the flow of battle by just hitting that M button. Before, it was very difficult. You had very vague ideas of where bad guys would be. You'd try and drop in a battle and then there'd be no action. Now you have many more tools to help understand where things are coming from, and you're not quite as reliant as running around with massive groups of players. I'm not saying that you can't run around with massive groups of players. In fact, it's a good way to get into lots of action frequently and have lots of cool teamwork. But you have to make a game that appeals to the casual player, and the map system updates have really done a good job of helping integrate those newbies. Now, one really cool thing about following the development of Planetside 2 is that they have this really elaborate roadmap that lets you know what they're working on and what's going to be coming in future updates. Now they're not giving you everything necessarily, but they give you a really good idea of what direction the devs want to take the game. And one thing that's been constantly added to pretty much every patch are new camos, new cosmetic upgrades, vehicle cosmetic upgrades, and these things have all added a lot of really neat individuality to the game. One of the issues that I think people had with this game when it first launched was that the Vanu were very difficult to see at night, and they still are very difficult to see at night because they have purple camo. Basically all their default camo is purple, and it's dark purple at night, and it just blends right in with everything, so it becomes very difficult to see them. Well, now they have new camouflages for all the factions that's black camouflage. So if you're kind of jealous of that camo that the Vanu have always have, well, now you can equip some black camo to your NC or TR characters and blend in a lot better at night, making you a lot harder to see. You may remember a while back at the Ultimate Empire Showdown, SOE made a big announcement about having esports becoming a big part of Planetside 2. Well, they finally started to implement some tools and some UI features that are going to help with the esports aspect of the game, and they have outfit tournament systems now, basically a leaderboard for outfits now to help rank and figure out what kind of outfits are what. You know, some outfits are smaller, some outfits are huge, so they can sort of classify outfits as being heavyweight outfits, smaller tactical outfits, and it's going to help monitor basically the progress of outfits and how they're doing in Planetside, and from there they can basically join tournaments and participate in competitions that SOE is going to be putting on, where they're going to be fighting in sort of instanced areas of the Planetside universe. So rather than playing in a big public location, all of a sudden it's going to be outfit versus other outfits in instance maps, and that sounds like a lot of fun. It'll be really cool to see how that works out. I know that SOE has been working really hard on getting basically their spectator mode into a state where it looks really awesome. And if you guys watch the Friday night ops that they do, they often use their cool spectator mode camera, and it is just awesome to watch it fly over a gigantic battle going on. And I can't wait to see the use of that spectator mode in some of the competitive gameplay. Now, if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen one of the Planetside videos before, or you haven't really heard much about Planetside, there is something very important about this game, and that's that it's free to play. And that is just awesome. It allows anybody to get into the game and try it out. And I highly recommend doing so if you haven't done so yet. Right now the game is in a very, very good state. The devs have done so much work on it since launch. Things have been polished very nicely. The flow of battle has really improved. Servers have been merged to increase population densities. So there's a lot of stuff going really well in Planetside right now. It's very easy to just hop into and have a lot of fun. If you're interested, make sure to check the video description for a link to the Planetside download page, and I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.